Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I need to do a little bit of reorganizing my armies, I'm realizing. Because some of these armies, I think, are basically superfluous. Um, so here's what we'll do. I think I only need... Yeah, I think maybe at least one of these mid-size armies has got to go. So I think we're going to grab the bordered blue banner army. We're not going to add any artillery to them. We are going to... Let me see. Third field army, we're not going to add any lancers to. So bordered yellow banner army, or bordered blue banner army, and third field army. Bordered blue banner. We're going to throw all these lancers into this army. Firm, and then bordered blue banner army. We're going to throw all this infantry into the 5th Field Army. And that will be just fine. Then next, bordered blue banner army. Did I goof this up? I'm gonna wait. It's only gonna be a couple more weeks. We're gonna wait until the new year. We're gonna see if that goes. Now, do I want to do anything with my laws? Scholar officials are very pleased right now. I have the ability to change the franchise. I could at least go to oligarchy. That's not going to help me all that much. Industrialists would be much happier with wealth voting. Everyone hates landed voting. Let's do that. No, because that's going to goof up my legitimacy. This sucks. Again, I need universal. I need universal suffrage very badly, and nobody wants to do a universal suffrage. Industrialists don't. Scholar officials don't. Confucian scholars don't. Literati don't. Literati are normally the people you rely on, but they've been headed up by an industrialist forever. Or an authoritarian forever. Hey, can you fuck on out of here, please? Yeah, I know they're going to be mad. Are you shitting my ass right now? They got themselves another authoritarian. Gosh darn it. Something, so much for tolerant liberals. Alright. I need a little bit more bureaucracy, I think, just to make sure I've got the flexibility to increase trade. Where's my government? Here it is. Let's swap over. We'll just do the next one on the list. No reason to make it complicated. And that'll give us a little bit more bureaucracy to play with. Just a little bit. I don't need to necessarily worry too much about that stuff. Could decrease my number of ports, but I don't necessarily want to do that. Kalsaraj is still going up in Liberty Desire, but it's getting less and less over time as they get more entangled in our economy and as relations improve. Chitral is close to being able to become a vassal, and I think once I got Chitral lined up, I can grab Afghanistan. And then we'll see if I can grab Persia. On the other hand, what would it take to grab Persia right now? I can't check right now because we don't have bad relations. Do they have any? They don't have any things I would need to worry about. So we'll make that a long-term plan. Afghanistan we're neutral with. That's probably not going to change. These boys will be very mad if time runs out, but I think they'll get over it within a reasonable time frame. They're just going to not be donating extra to the investment pool for a while, and that's going to make me very sad, but it's going to be necessary. All these other groups are quite strong, but unfortunately none of them are willing to do a democracy about it, which is sad. Population's still rock solid. And standard of living is going up a bit, which is keeping us in a large pile of loyalists. Loyalists, this ratio is generally doing really well. Again, this situation... Ooh, actually... If I bring the petite bourgeoisie into the government... I could achieve border controls. Because they like that better than closed borders. So let's do that. And we'll see if we can make that happen. Old ways. That's a bad one, isn't it? Roost textbook. Bastards. That's okay. This is alright. It could be better, but it's alright. Hey, there's Fieldworks. Wonderful. That's wonderful. That's just wonderful. And now my massive army expansion increases. So, now, what about my other... they're up to plus 19. I could end up making them pretty mad. What about other stuff? 4th Field Army also needs more... infantry. I could scratch Bordered Yellow Banner Army. I think that's what I'm gonna do. 4th Field Army doesn't need Lancers. Bordered Yellow Banner Army doesn't need artillery. And then... we will throw these Lancers into the 4th Field Army. Confirm, and then what do I want to do with the infantry? I don't know what we got all these Lancers out here doing. Oh, this is the army on the move. Alright. So once they're done transferring, they'll be done. Alright, and then I think... okay, so now 4th Field Army needs another leader. Let's get a Confucian Scholars guy. Can I get someone from a better interest group? Looks like no. And then Bordered Yellow Banner Army, we'll split these between... the 6th and 7th Coastal Forces. Actually, no. What we'll do is we'll combine the 6th and 7th Coastal Forces. Where's the 6th Coastal Force? Where are you hiding? Here you are. And then the Bordered Yellow Banner Army will become the 7th Coastal Force. And hopefully long-term that'll sensibilize my armies, while not putting me in a position where I'm sort of down bad having situations all the time. Militarily speaking. Military speaking, I don't want to be in a situation. Don't you try to put me in a situation. Rural folk are big salty. They like to close borders, but I need to be able to get an agitator in here. I'm going to give you democracy, rural folk. Just you wait. It's going to be worth it. It's going to take a long time, because the scholar officials want freaking local police forces. But we've just got to do it the way we've got to do it. On the plus side, economy is growing at a pretty freaking steady rate. And literacy is going up, although it's not great. So we're currently we're no longer going down due to low literacy. Once we got above 40% literacy, we'll be advancing. Again, can't afford to go up to a higher education level right now, although I'm getting a bunch of extra from, I think, the petite bourgeoisie, but I don't necessarily want to be dependent on that for my finances. Foreign competition, stall event. People living in western Guangdong under dire conditions are afraid that the migration controls reform will increase competition in the job market. Whose idea was this? Probably someone who didn't have to worry every day if they would have work, so that they would pay, so that they would live. A rich immigrant never seems to be a threat to those who are already well off, but let me tell you, here at the bottom it's always crowded. If they can't compete, they deserve to lose their jobs. Reduced enactment success chance, 5% of lower stardom pops in Guangdong become more radical, or Qing job seekers should be prioritized minus 20% enactment chance. Gonna have to go with the first one. It hurts. It hurts, but I gotta keep as much success chance as I can get. I've still got 12% advance chance, so I might get hit with a setback here, but I think we'll do okay. Damnable literati, not doing their jobs. Happily, the private investment pool is building a ton now. That's the joy of postal savings. I got a lot of rich farmers here in this country. Rich farmers. I got a lot of reasonably well-paid farmers in this country, and they are investing deep in the economy. I might just be able to afford it, but again, I'm doing a big military expansion right now, so I don't want to run out ahead of my ability to fund my military. Because that's the goal, right? Now, for the Fragile Unity, the Boxer Rebellion. What leads to the Boxer Rebellion? Let's take a look at that, because that should be a journal entry. So, Chinese missions. If we lose the Opium Wars, so this is going to activate. This is going to activate pretty soon. Protestant missionary activities will begin in states neighboring foreign treaty ports in our nation. But we don't have any... Oh, we do have a treaty port. We got this one from Portugal. Do you have a defensive pact with Britain? Typically you do. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. There's a chance they'll succeed. I could steal that treaty port. I could try it. Would that be just ridiculous behavior? Totally maidenless? If the chances are all right. Actually, do I still have a truce with Great Britain? I don't. On the other hand, 46% is pretty good. France would not get involved, unfortunately. But if I could steal that territory fast and hold it, I might be able to make that happen. Chitral is almost ready to be a vassal. Starting to get rubber discoveries. That's going to be more and more influential on the game as a whole. Plain Red Banner Army is low on organization, so they need another leader. Let's go with the Confucian Scholars guy. Still getting Scholar Officials, guys. Foreign faiths. The suggestion of migration controls has caused debate among the Confucian scholars about whether immigrants will share the uniquely Qing religious sensibilities. Even if they are Confucian, who's to say what strange foreign rites they might bring with them? A bastardized Confucian faith stained by folk practices from their homeland? What will happen to our own traditions if such things are to be accommodated? We should accept immigrants who do not practice their faith as we do. 15% enactment chance. Confucian scholars angry. Perhaps we can place some restrictions to prevent this, reduce enactment chance. I'm going to go with the first one. Confucian scholars be damned. Give me that enactment chance. Hey, I don't have any notifications. I finally ran myself out of notifications. With that having been said, I think I can probably tolerate... Well, I want to keep freedom of conscience for the authority, because I am going to go off autocracy eventually, and I want to be able to freaking have what I can have. My field armies are continuing to increase in size. I might turn these armies into field armies. I'm not sure yet. It's going to depend on cash flow, I think. Right now, I am... So, I'm at minus 40,000. Investment pool transfer is 110,000. Construction goods are only 130,000, which means the investment pool is not actually... I can only get about 35 more... Hey, Canada exists. I can only get about 35k more... better in the black. Britain's damaging relations. Haha! I'll crush you with my politeness. Frankly, I don't know how our relations got so low in the first place. So I'm working a little bit without a net here. Normally, halting construction is a go-to technique, but not for me. So Netherlands is going after Lübeck. Opposition members put forth demands. More pragmatically inclined members of the industrialists, currently opposed to the passing of migration controls, have offered to change their stance, whether to be offered certain political concessions. Such concessions would not be popular with the rural folk, however. Compromise makes a good umbrella, but a poor roof. It is a temporary expedient, often wise in party politics, almost sure to be unwise in statesmanship. Acquiesce to their demand, the bill must pass. Even angrier rural folk, 10% enactment chance. Compromise is a tool of the weak, reduce enactment time, reduce enactment chance. Rural folk a little happier, or a prime opportunity to break the bill from deadlock, one entire phase, increase enactment time later, rural folk unhappy. I'm going to acquiesce. It's basically what I always do. I know that's going to make the rural folk mad, but it is what it is. They'll have to get over it. I need this for stuff and things. And by stuff and things, I mean to get myself a freaking democracy eventually. And I'm really hoping I can get there fast, because this situation is going to cause me a heckin' problem. Minus 15% interest group approval is going to turn opposition to this here activity very, very bad. I gambled and I may have lost on that. One of my armies needs another leader. It's all scholar officials, dorks all the time. I need to get better fellas in my field armies as well. Petit bourgeoisie guy. You'll be just fine. You're a market liberal. Liberalism intensifies! Just liberalizing the armed forces. Surely no one should be upset about that. There's rubber in Pegu twice. Hooray! Soon I'll be able to go after Afghanistan. Ooh, low market access in Henan. Well, let's build a railway. Where's Henan? Henan is here. Beautiful. Crooked connections. Debates. Frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding migration controls, Zhang Sun of the rural folk, Zhang Sun, has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. A few words in the right ears is all I'm asking for. Everything within the bounds of the law, of course, although I can't guarantee that our opponents in this matter will view such actions with much glee. Granted permission, time is of the essence. Salty industrialists reduce enactment time. Or no, we do this by the book or not at all, increase enactment time. I'm going to go with the first one, actually. I can tolerate the industrialists being upset. They're generally for this. I think maybe the root, the numbers are, the 0.2s are a little confused in the game, but that's okay with me. I'm a hair short of influence right now. which is a shame. My rivalries with various countries have fallen off because of rank differences. Anyone else I can rival? Shogunate. Let's get him. I don't know why I wasn't rivaling the Shogunate before. They never did become a freaking protectorate of the United States. So, you know, what would it cost if I made them a tributary? 79 infamy. Okay, well, that... Okay, I guess I'll leave them alone for now. This is really making me nervous, but I want to get my migration control situation sorted so that I can bring in agitators. I need to get agitated. That's the reality of it. I'm not agitated enough. Can't you see? Can't you see I'm insufficiently agitated? I need to be agitated, god damn it. Agitate me! Alright, I'm getting weird. It's late at night and I'm getting weird. Wish I could have a more legitimate government. Hey, we're in consideration. That's good. Oh, man. The Shandong Cyclone. A cyclone has hit the state of Shandong from the sea, tearing through homes and people alike. It destroyed our home and wrecked my fishing boat. My family might be safe, but how am I going to feed them? A tragedy, but what can be done? 20% devastation. Or we should put some money into relief. 10% devastation. 20,000 pounds costs for 2 years. It's a tragedy, but what can be done? Not. Providing relief, that's for damn sure. Can't afford that. I gotta build buildings. The Confucian scholars demand the promotion of Brigadier General Shanglin Zhanshan, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Jiang's face when the field marshal learned of his imminent ascension. Their rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. He's earned it, Confucian scholars happy, or they will not force our hand, they get mad, but the rural folk get happy. I can get something for nothing by indulging them, so I think I'm gonna. I would love the rural folk to be happier, but I don't have an immediate need of improving the opinions of the rural folk. So we'll just do that. A foreign manifesto. The recently translated works of Manuel Jacinto have become popular within the absolutist movement. The relationship has developed to the point of Manuel Jacinto openly endorsing the movement. The absolutists. They're pretty weak. And for a whole large class, there is no other road, especially for a nation so eminently practical as the Qing. The great thing is to get the working class to move as a class, that once obtained, they will soon find the right direction, and all who resist will be left out in the cold with small sects of their own. Our struggle is an international one, slightly stronger movement, or this foreign interference ought to be punished, much weaker movement, Confucian scholars salty, more activism, weaker Confucian scholars. I'm going to go with the first one. Again, I don't want to piss off my interest groups. Surely you can understand the desire not to make one's interest groups angry. They're always getting built. Cash flow is tight. Whichever way forward. With the attitudes of the literati towards the United States of America growing more apathetic, their leadership has begun to discuss reassessing the group's support for the Qing American League. It was more difficult to get appointments at the Foreign Ministry these days. The initial interest that had inspired the movement had long since waned, the lobby's activities falling into Beijing's background noise. The literati were the first to lose interest, their representatives initially disheartened by an absence of news, then no longer inclined to read the papers when they arrived. What reason do we have to care for happenings in Washington? The younger members challenged. The elders did not know how to respond. So Qing American League is doing just fine. It's time for a change, they leave it, or why change something that works, they remain. Why change something that works? Us and America were rising powers in the world. Mecklenburg Strelitz, something going on over there. It's likely a European war. A European war means opportunities for me, particularly to go after Japan. Which I do want to do, but I also want Afghanistan. I could give them Chitral as a gift. Once I've taken them over, that is. Elsaraj is still going down in Liberty Desire slowly. Siam, are you still being defended by France? You are. Gosh darn it.
I really want to eat Siam real bad.
But I gotta keep my infamy going down. That's the thing I gotta be conscientious about here. Hey, there's central banking. Excellent. That actually improves my finances a lot. Law proposal causes uproar in Uyghur communities, claiming that the enactment of migration controls would disproportionately affect the country's Uyghur inhabitants in a negative way. Uyghur firebrands have riled their communities against the current law proposal. Give them a finger and they'll cry for an arm. Give them an arm and before you know it, they'll weaponize the arm, batter you to death with it, and pilfer your corpses for even more concessions. And their thoughts concern us how? Force the issue through. Reduce bureaucracy. 5% of Uyghur pops in Zungaria become a radical. 5% enactment chance. Make some token amends. 2% of Uyghur pops in Zungaria become a radical. Or acknowledge and address their concerns. 5% of Uyghur pops in Zungaria become loyalists. Reduce enactment chance. And their thoughts concern us how? Force the issue through. It's migration controls. That's all it is. They have nothing to be concerned about. We are an upstanding government. And we are going to treat the Uyghur community with respect. Or at the very least, as much respect as we can under... Were we not already rivals? As we can under cultural exclusion. Because that's where we're at. I wonder if they timed out. Concerning. It means I need a bigger fleet and some larger armies. But this number is making me really happy. We're within spitting distance of actually having a balanced budget, and that makes me extremely, extremely pleased. I could go on like this for forever, basically. Which I'm feeling pretty happy about, to be completely honest. This number is not as good, but, you know, it is what it is. As long as I can keep the petit bourgeoisie happy, getting my middle manager's bonus, I should be good to go with that. Obviously, if I decide I want to increase the size of the education institution, I'll need more of that. Because this number, I'm not loving. Hoping to get that a little bigger and a little more effective. Also, this army expansion is going pretty slow, and I would love for that to be going a little bit faster. But again, sustainability is of critical importance. We're a long-term type thinking country, and we need to engage in long-term thinking wherever possible. However, we are getting to be towards the end of the episode. I think we'll just go a little bit longer here, and until we can get Chitral down to being a vassal. I'm hoping it'll happen this month, and it'll happen this month. Excellent. Well, now they're rebellious, but hopefully will be so only for a little bit longer. Let's just let a week go by. Ooh, lost an admiral. We'll need to expand our admiralty in order to deal with that issue as well. Oh, it was one of our high-ranking ones. Gosh darn it. Grab a scholar officials guy. Here's an armed forces fella. Throw all that bureaucracy in there. Grand Admiral Tan Kui. Perfect. Alright. That is all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.